Morty, I'm not gonna lie. It's your time. It's time because you just a straight up
S to the I to the M to the P.
simp. Someone who will waste their life savings for Pokemon to say is. Oh, wait, this is the wrong one. Squirrel Sim? No, this is the wrong one too. Someone who does way too much for a person they like. That's an understatement, but I'm gonna take that definition. And not all simps look like this or like this, and some of them aren't just doing that. They're absolute freaks, and we need to put them down, honestly. And today we're gonna be looking at this little fucker, and he is a problem. He's caught many bodies for some pussy ain't never gonna get.
All right, guys, we're going to start with his minor offenses and move on to the more serious stuff. And it's not just going to be his minor offenses, it's going to be like everything down to him just being down bad. All right, so let's begin. First off, getting Rick shot because he thought a girl was fucking hot. Like, they were just chilling, watching people get murdered during the purge. And then Rick is just like, oh, this shit's disgusting, let's leave. And then Morty out of nowhere just hears a girl screaming. And he's like, wait, oh, she kind of fine as shit. She about to get murdered. So let me help her real quick. I think I can pull. Rick, we got to save her ass. Come on, let's do it real quick. And Rick's like, did you just watch like 80 people get murdered? He's like, nah, but I want her ass though. You were literally complaining the whole time that you wanted to leave. Let's go. Like, I don't want to save these people. She's gonna just die. And Morty's like, she probably got a friend that's 30 years older. You can hit that. And Rick's like, nah, I'm not doing that. So anyway, they save her bitch ass, and then they let her into the ship. He tries spitting game at her, but honestly, that does not succeed. She looks like this the whole time. Feels bad. Then the bitch wanna out of nowhere be like, oh, my grandmother's about to die. Hurry up, let's save her. Ends up shooting Rick in the fucking neck. Well, not the neck, his fucking liver, but same shit. And then after all that, he ends up killing multiple people to Tony, mind you. I'm not gonna lie. At first, when they found her after he was killing those people, he was gonna kill her. But he got knocked out and came back and instantly tried to fucking talk to her again.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend.
Like, that wasn't even worth it, my boy. I don't even know why you attempted that. All that trouble, she had a boyfriend this whole time, bro. Just stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
Did I mention that him and his sister have a baby together? Like, this part is gonna be just him being straight up down bad for no reason. Like, one day he was just walking around in his mom's job, and he walked on with that thing they used to collect the horse semen. And he was like, damn, I'm gonna put my dick in that. And due to Rick doing the experiment and Morty lying about that being his semen, they end up invading. Somehow. And since Morty took forever to tell the truth, the United States government used the human egg to lure all the semen because they are looking for an egg. But turns out Summer donated her own egg to do that. And anyone who has learned about the birds and the bees knows what happens when you put a sperm and an egg together. And that's how Naruto the giant incest baby was born. What you saw there, Your Honor, was a fucking 14-year-old using a fucking everything magnet. Yes, everything magnet. A magnet that attracts anything you type into it to fucking teleport in some fucking huzz, bro. Like, imagine meeting Jesus because one random kid just wanted to see your titties. Like, imagine how would that make you feel? Like, you just meeting God and he was like, oh, sorry, my child. Morty Smith wanted to see some boobies. This one is a very minor offense, but let's talk about the Tiny Rick episode.
Basically, if you don't know, even though I don't know why you would be clicking on a Rick and Morty video if you haven't seen Rick and Morty, but Rick basically turned himself into a little version of himself to hunt vampires. Even though now that I think about it, we never got to see them actually hunt vampires. Like, that's the crazy part.
But anyway, back to the episode. He basically was ignoring Rick for a lot of the episode because he wanted to get a date with Jessica, and little Rick impressed her enough to come to his party, and then she started liking him, which makes no sense. Girls confuse me. Eventually, Summer starts to catch on, which is good. I'm glad she started to catch on because Morty was never going to without her saying anything. And he had the nerve to tell her that she needs to get her shit together. And I wore it as a shirt like all throughout middle school and my freshman year. Final offense, it's this random ass daydreams he be having. I know it's the only one we've seen, I'm pretty sure, and this was the pilot. We really started off the show with some fucking gooning. But yes, we know he do this like multiple times in class. We know that. Honestly, his teacher hates him most likely because of this, and he sucks at fucking math. But yeah. Now on to the major fucking crimes. I feel like this one is the bridge between minor and major. This wasn't completely his fault, but he still was kind of simping. So basically, Rick's nemesis, and yes, I put that in quotations because Rick doesn't believe that, he comes the same day Morty has a date because Morty landed in the ocean, and they have a little treaty thing. I don't remember that much. And while he's on his date, he's in charge of getting the wine. So Jessica hears that, and she's like, "Can you get me some wine?"
Yeah, I gotta get some wine for Mr. Nimbus.
Got any extra?
Oh,
So he goes to get the wine, but he's storing it. Well, Rick is storing it in this dimension where time works differently. So he gets one of the locals to help him. Got a wife and shit. So sad. What's about to happen because this nigga wanted to impress Jessica. Like, honestly, as soon as Nimbus showed up, I would have went to a movie and a dinner. Like, nah, I wouldn't have stayed at my house. So after that, Hoovy goes home, and then it's dark as shit outside, even though 2 seconds ago it was light out. He goes home, his wife is dead, and his son is born. Like, imagine coming home and your son is born. And he kills him because he thought he left his mother, so of course he would. And his last words was him saying that it wasn't his fault, it was Morty's fault for taking him to another dimension. So after that, Morty brings the wine to Nimbus, but he's like, nah, I finished that first one, I want the second one now too. And Morty's like, I just caused so much trouble for this one. Damn, I gotta get another one now. And Jessica's like, oh, what's going on? And Morty's like, I just shoved the last bottle by accident, I'm gonna go get another one real quick. And then she's like, all right, I'll suck your dick when you come back. And then he creeps his pants. Then you Rick and Morty fans are going to be like, they didn't say that exactly. I know they didn't say that exactly. I'm just doing my interpretation. And we all know that Morty creamed his pants. Okay, so Morty possibly wanted to get his dick sucked, so he went back to get more wine. But Hoovy's son was waiting for him. He waited so long. He stayed in the house with both his dead family's corpse. And he was like, I'm going to stay here to whoop your ass. So the time finally comes, and he just boxing him the fuck up. Morty's getting his ass whooped. Like, I mean, really getting his ass whooped. He decided to come back 3 seconds later when he's old as shit and push him to the fucking ground to grab more wine. And then his son sees this like, damn, Dad, you can tell the damn truth. Then Hoovy Jr. tried to cut Morty with one of those Assassin's Creed blades. Morty grabs the wine and he dips out. And then his sons and the rest of the village make a whole religion on hating Morty and then killing him for the one day he decides to come back. And all that was for naught because he ended up spilling the wine. And his girl Jessica, she ready to go. Like, she done. She hasn't been talked to this whole time. Like, this whole time I've been explaining stuff, I only talked to Jessica like once. He had an easy solution. Oh, so he comes back another time, and they prepare for his ass this time. Like, they got weapons drawn. Like, he about to get his ass fucking killed. And he's like, I just want some wine, bruh. So they shoot his weapons at him. He makes it through the portal last second. So he gets his weapons ready to fucking kill their asses. Yes, he commits mass murder to get some bitch some wine instead of just taking her out and sneaking one of your mom's bottles of wine. Like, we all know she's an alcoholic. So Morty, anyway, he pulls up and commits mass murder like he does. So anyway, he brings the wine to Jessica, but then he realizes he doesn't even have an opener. And she's like, why the fuck you look like shit? And he's like, I'm sorry, I always get this shit wrong. Yeah, you think? And he's not saying that because he committed murder. He's saying that because he had to commit murder for her. Well, at least he thought he did. Like I said, he had another option. He didn't have to do this at his house. But to continue the story, they sent an assassin after Morty because they just tired of his ass. And Jessica was like, get off my man, kinda. And then she ends up getting accidentally sucked into the other dimension. And him, Rick, and Nimbus end up saving her, but she ends up just saying this.
I think we should just be friends.
Like, really imagine doing all that, and she just said that. Even though I wouldn't put myself in that situation because that would just be dumb.
She doesn't care about you. She don't give a W for her. You? Fucking loser.
Damn, you're just gonna go out sorry on this one, bro. Alright, let me tell you about his relationship with Planetina. And this one isn't too bad also, but it's still major because a lot of people ended up dying because of this. So I'm adding it in anyway. So they met because she was fighting a bootleg master Splinter, and he just ended up walking up to her because, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. She's way out of his league. I honestly don't know how this man pulled Captain Planet's thought system.
Why you bullying me?
I'm going to keep this story short and brief because it is a short and brief story. Morty killed her kid. But to be fair, they were going to sell him to this guy, and he also killed, like, multiple security guards. But I'm primarily adding this to the list because she's kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and he was kind of really down bad for her for no reason.
even though she didn't text him back for the first 2 days when they first met and shit. And his mom says that she's way too old for him because she's technically a few thousands to millions years old. And sadly, the relationship ends with her going into a really bad murderous rampage and then breaking up. I don't think anyone should start a relationship with anyone being such a...
To the I to the M to the P.
Okay, I think I knew what was coming. Time to talk about the Death Crystal episode. Rick and Morty end up collecting these death crystals that show you how you're gonna die. And Morty sees a certain timeline where he dies with Jessica. Okay, so Morty ends up driving because he wants to do anything he can to end up in that timeline. Like, anything. He literally just ends up killing Rick just to do it. Then a clone of Rick shows up and teaches him how to clone him, but he's like, nah, I want to end up with Jessica, so I'm not gonna revive Rick, because why would I want to end up with my bitch, bro. Then Morty's dumbass ends up growing some balls with his bully because he thinks he's certain on how he's gonna die. Then his fate switches up because his bully is actually gonna end up killing him. Something stopping Morty to not be with his bitch? You know what that means? Murder spree! So he ends up breaking into Rick's vault using the death crystal, and he pulls up on his bully and his friends. Well, he has Rick out here being cloned in every universe that's fascist. Well, he straight up sends the first guy to fucking space. And for his friends, he just sends one of them in a Pokeball and the other one he just nut on. And I think the main bully called the police from space because they pull up and he just does this to him. Like, look at that. What the cops do to him? Half the people in this video is getting killed worse than Mr. Jelly Bean. He tried to eat his fucking ass. Well, anyway, after that, he spawned a whole bunch of Meeseeks, but he said shield him from the law, but we all know these Meeseeks killed them. Because, like, when the U.S. Army shows up, he went all out. He slaughtered all in his path. Like I said, imagine meeting the Lord because this man wanted to see some titties and you just went to work. He going to straight hell. Like, straight up hell. Nowhere else. And then turns out the bitch just wants to be a hospice nurse. That's literally it. This nigga just did all that for nothing. And no, I did not forget to mention that he became an Akira. Like, he literally turned himself into an Akira monster for her. After denying to watch her skinny dip. Like, what? Like, I haven't seen all of season 7. I watched half of it. And I watched the one episode of season 8 because I thought I was going to be able to put an episode in there. It was from this clip.
Ooh, say something racist.
And no one ended up dead but her. Well, he didn't do that, and it wasn't her fault. He didn't simp this episode, and that's growth. Well, that's it, Your Honor. That's all I can think of, how he's just a straight up...
To the I to the M to the P.
All right, tell me what I missed. I'm pretty sure I've got most of the things. I will do a part 2 if I really did forget anything, especially if I find more things after watching the rest of season 7 and 8. I'm most likely going to do somebody from one of these 2 shows.